up, everybody? It's Crosscurrent playing a game called Out of Reach Treasure Royale. Now, this game came out 1 week ago on Steam, and I think it's a lot of fun. Now, it can be played for free with the demo version, but that only gives you one game, from what I've noticed, to play, and then you have to pay for the game. So, here I'm going to give you a guide, show you how to play the game, and just what to expect. Now, that being said, guys, if you enjoy this video, please drop a like. If you really like my content and like where I'm going with this, smash that subscribe button. Really could use that to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. If you got something to say, something to suggest, anything you want to see in the future, comment below. And share with your friends if you think they could use this video. Now, let's dive right into it. So, this is a main lobby. Plain and simple. For friends, if you want to add them to the game with you, you're going to have to add them on Steam. I have not seen any other way to get people in the games, and then you have to invite them. If you are the party leader, you can invite everyone in the party. No one else in your party can invite. Keep that in mind. Weird thing. Now, let's go to the bottom left just before we go on to the top. This is just a news. It tells you everything that's being fixed, everything that's being worked on. Settings, very important. I didn't mess with most of the settings because they seem pretty okay. Except the graphics are lower than normal. Weird. Whatever. Audio. So if you're trying to talk to people in the game, I suggest going with always on. Push talk seems to only work half the time. I'm assuming the devs are working on that, but I would just suggest that. Be sure you would hit always on and then apply. If you don't hit apply, it's not even going to happen. I know, sounds easy until you play the game and it doesn't happen. Sometimes you just gotta tamper that a couple times if your teammate cannot hear you. There is a Discord, I'll link that to you guys below, as well as my Discord. I'm gonna have a separate private group for active members. I'll tell you why when we get into a game, because the community is very lacking right now, since it has just come out as a game. So I'll link those both to you. Be sure to check them out if you're interested. Now let's get to the character. The character, this is just more cosmetics. You're just here, you try to make your character look cool, sound whatever the way you want it to sound.
New target. New target.
That sounds goofy. You can change your clothes. Now to get the clothes, you have to open chests. Chests are given after the end of each game. Depending upon your placement, you might get a pirate chest as well. And the only way to get to a captain's treasure is by paying 3,000, to my knowledge. Unless you're leveling up, happens to give you one of those. But what I have noticed is that the legendary chest gave me some of the coats. Now you get all the belts already, and everything else I've gotten from normal chests. I don't know exactly how the ranking goes with all that, but I would just honestly save up for the legendary chest because you can't get it anywhere else, to my knowledge. Now, the ship, you can change it to whatever you want. You got a bunch of options. You can change the color scheme. It's really nice in my opinion. Got no complaints. You can check your statistics. And you can have badges on your profile. So like when you kill someone or get killed, you'll see this pop up. It's really cool. It's nifty in the fact that you can just kind of show off what you've earned. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot in that regard. You can show off these decent looking frames and statistics. This is a more detailed version of statistics. Like, that's pretty basic. You can see all the damage you've done, treasures found, all that fun stuff. Alright, so that being said, guys, I'm going to put us into a game. Now, most of the time in this game, there's not actually a full lobby. They have it set currently to where if there's 8 players out of 100, the game will start in about 2 minutes. Now, that doesn't hit very often, but that's because of the weird demo rule, in my personal opinion. That being said, that's why I'm making the Discord for everyone to join and have friends to play with there. I did play with the devs today in bigger lobbies, and we had about 25 to 30 people, which was a lot of fun. I would definitely suggest hitting up the devs on their Discord for when that might happen next. I've also been discussing potentially a free weekend for the game to come out. If that comes out, I'll be sure to send you some clips and immediately let you know on when that's going to happen. Just be sure to hit that notification bell if you want to know when that's going to happen. Just keep up to date. Now, they do have a lot of similar mechanics to Hunt Showdown, if you're familiar with that game. The game looks similar to PUBG with graphics, and the resurrection system is unique in my personal opinion. Yeah, the loading screens will take a while. Don't restart the game. It just takes a second. Let me make sure I'm not yelling to these people. Cool, I'm not. So you see there's only 4 people in the lobby right now. Nothing too crazy. That's someone I was actually talking to earlier. So what you see right now, this is a loading area. It's nothing too crazy. You just go here, you wait for people to show up. Also, when you die, you'll go here to fight enemies to come back to life. If you don't succeed, there is another way to be resurrected. I'll be sure to show you that in a clip. I'm just going to go over the basic stuff right now, and later on, I'll show you clips of everything I'm talking about within the game. Now, if you look at the bottom left over here, it's your health bar. Right below it, you have armor, which will be in the form of leather vambraces on the right side, a helmet, and breastplate. These go in the order of rarity from gray to green to purple to gold. If you want to mark any of those equipment, you can just hit center mouse and it'll show it. I should be able to get a better visual for you all on that. And also in the bottom left, you'll see this meter bar. Now what that is a rum meter. They might have a better term, but essentially you can drink kegs and bottles of rum to get bonuses. It doesn't stay permanently, so use it when you think you could actually need it. The first one down there will give you better aim. I know, it doesn't make sense if you're drunk. The second one gives you more movement speed. And the third one gives you health regen. If there's anything else added to this that I have forgotten, be sure to comment below so I know as well. I'm not super familiar, and I didn't get a straight answer about it. Right here at the 5, that's a pipe. What you use that for is it's a quick way to heal for 25 HP. Next to it, you have the first aid kit, which I believe heals for 50 HP, but takes longer. If any of these are interrupted, it gets canceled. If you're in the water, you can't even do it. Rum bottle, it should get you about a third or a fourth of the way up. About, I think it's 15 to 20 on the meter. And a keg gets you 80. So one of each should get you there. The idol is what's used to resurrect your teammates. To resurrect your teammates, though, if they have not survived in this gulag type arena, okay. If they've not survived inside this gulag type arena, then you'll need to resurrect them with that. But if you die multiple times, you keep getting sent back here. So don't feel like if you win and then you die and you come back here and you win and then you die, come back here and win, it'll show in your stats, it'll count as kills. It's all fun and games. If you have an ally that's here as well, they will also pop up with a name above their head, and you can team up with them to find the enemies, but you only get spawned with this pistol, the Knight Quartet. You won't have any armor, you won't have any other abilities or anything else you can use, so good luck. To get these idols, by the way, is by gathering treasure, which is the main point of this game. You want to get 3 treasures across the map, and then you want to bring them to the altar and wait for 5 minutes, and protect it and survive, and then you win the game. Therefore, forcing every other player to know, hey, they're about to win the game in 5 minutes, we gotta kill them. So, that's pretty intense. While you're going throughout the game, you'll be able to pick up stuff through chests and buildings, just stuff lying on the ground. For combat, if you press F, it'll bring out your weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see on the bottom right, it'll have different weapons. The 1 and 2 are for the main weapons. The 3 button will be for your sidearm, which is typically just pistols. There is another pistol that has 3 barrels that I think is called Duckfoot. And if you have certain grenades or hand bombs, whatever they call it, they're bad, but they'll be in the 4th slot. Now, when you're something I had learned today about the game is like when you're trying to divvy up ammo, you have to hold down control and move it over, and then you can split it up or pick it back up. The inventory, it'll show right there how full or empty your backpack is. The more space you have filled up, the slower you go. You can carry infinite amount, from what I'm familiar with, but you will move gradually slower. There is fall damage in the game, but there's glitchy ways I will not mention as how to avoid fall damage. I think they should fix that so then it is properly shown in the game. For each weapon, it will have up to 3 modifications to weapon: a barrel, a scope, and a stock. Scope, obviously, you just look through to see the enemies from farther away. The barrel and stock, they either give 30% reduced trouble with aiming or 30% reduced reload speed. That's all that they have variety-wise for those upgrades. Also, same with the pistol. Yeah, I think that's a basic point behind it. If an enemy does die, they'll have a chest where all their stuff will be. I'll try to show that in a clip. The weapons, I'm not going to go into deep detail about the weapons and what they do, just because there's a lot of them, and that's not something I feel you should learn off the start. I think you should just experiment and see what works with you, to be honest. But definitely find some players to play with, because going alone is not near as fun. I did do a 1v3, didn't turn out the best. But yeah, if you're trying to ping stuff, you will hit middle mouse button just to show where something is. There's other commands to that. I'll bring that up later once I'm done with the overall introduction to the game. I believe that is all, though. That being said, guys, you can also hit the settings by pressing escape. You can exit the lobby, exit the game, but it will give you a time to wait. Otherwise, people could just join lead, etc. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that part, and I'm going to get into more specific in-game details. A very important thing to know in this game is how to summon a ship. So I know you have a ship when you start off in the game, but it's only one ship for possibly 4 players. Now, if one of those ships gets destroyed, or if you're trying to rush for the treasures, you're going to need to summon another one. To do that, you're going to press B, and then you're going to choose a spot on the water when it shows a green, and press E. When you do that, you sacrifice permanently 25% of your health, not armor, health. Now, if you die after you have already sacrificed your health and you are resurrected by either killing someone or getting resurrected by an idol, you will regain that permanently lost health. I realized that very recently. When it comes to operating the ship, you're going to have to use WASD. When you first get the ship, it might take a second for it to actually move. If you want to stop the ship, you're going to have to hold S before you jump out. But also, if you jump out of the ship will stop within a reasonable distance of you. So if you do that trying to escape enemies, they'll know relatively where you're at. Now, when you spawn your first ship as a team, you all start with 10 cannonballs and 4 cannons. You press E to use a cannon, R to reload the cannon, which they will start out empty. Click to shoot with the cannons. You can also use bombs and handguns to deal the same damage as cannons to ships, each dealing 60 damage, which will add up at the end of the game to give you more points. You can break down the sails by aiming at them, which will then slow the enemy's ship down by a decent amount. If your ship is damaged, look at the bottom left of the screen. It will show in red what has been damaged, what has been hit, and you'll need to go underneath where the steering wheel is and press E on the wooden pile. Go up to wherever it's broken, press E, around 3 times, and then it will be fixed. The main objective of this game is to collect 3 treasures and then to take it to the altar for 5 minutes, defend it, and win. Now, that's not how a lot of people like to play, but that's technically how you win. The other way you can play this is by when you notice someone who has collected the 3rd chest, it'll let everyone know, and there'll be a timer on the right for 20 minutes with a red skull, meaning that the map will be engulfed all the way on to the altar and eventually engulf that as well. Now, that being said, if you see that happening and see that people are going for the altar, it'll pop up on your screen as well. You can head over there and camp as much as you want just to get a bunch of kills, and heck, you might win. The problem with that is, if someone has their altar already started for 5 minutes, the only way you can cancel that altar without having to kill every single player is to start your altar in their place by hitting E on it. Now, if you don't have that, you can't do it. And what players can do if they've done that is just hide. If they know that a person doesn't have the treasures, they can just hide till the 5 minutes are up. If they live, then they win. Do remember though, if your entire team dies, no one can be resurrected in the next world. I almost forgot to mention the fact that when you are getting the treasures on the map, it will show an X. When you see that, you're supposed to press E over it. Even if you do not have a hand bomb, it'll drop one. Now, so you know, this will not do damage to you. So if for whatever reason you need to stand on that bomb, it won't kill you. The 3rd treasure, though, will be under the water. Typically, I find it somewhat close to the surface, but it can vary in how deep it is. Enemies can see you in the water for a certain deepness as well, so be careful while doing that. And just be sure you have the altar in mind and where you're going afterwards. Unlike the simple way to resurrect yourself by just killing an enemy, to resurrect teammates it's a little more complicated. Every time you get a chest, at the bottom middle of your screen you'll see an idol icon. It'll be a skull with something around it. Now, for each treasure you do get one of those, and that will resurrect your whole team every time you use one at the altar. Sculpt the altar, press E, you wait. A couple seconds afterwards, they should respawn. They will have no gear, no armor, no weapons, just a sword, and whatever cosmetics they had prior to the game. Now, that being said, you can, when you're in the underworld, fight with your teammates to help them out, so then you can come back to life. There are certain glitches involved with this. Please, chat, if you know what those are, do not say them. I don't want glitches that are supposed to not be there get known to the whole community, because then we'll have actual problems in the game. Unlike what the information will say when you hover over the modifications to your weapons, the reload stock will reduce the range of your weapon, the silencer will deal less damage for the weapon, and the heavy stock will make the reload speed take longer. Now, I haven't noticed this specifically, but I did notice at least the silencer, when you put it on, the damage per second is reduced. I'm assuming that's happening with all the other items too, but I would just be careful with that. One of the most crucial ways to communicate with the team, even with microphones, is by pinging or marking items or the map. To do so, you hit middle mouse button or the scroll key. To mark enemies, you hit Q or hold down the scroll key and choose enemies. You can choose to mark ship, treasure, what else to do, and if you press spacebar while holding down the scroll button, you can send funny voice lines out. Alright everyone, so this is the final category I have. It just has a couple minor tips that I didn't have a really good spot for, as well as some glitches that I think you need to know how to get past. Now, the first thing is climbing. Now, this allows you to climb up a lot of things, Mainly when you're trying to get to a village and there's a huge wall, you jump with spacebar and you hold down spacebar to climb. It won't show a very good animation for it, but you will notice you're gradually moving up like you're pulling yourself upwards. Now, one of the glitches I noticed in the game with jumping is that I would have cannonballs in my inventory, and I didn't realize that I couldn't jump until I was in a bad spot. This other streamer told me that I need to drop the cannonballs, and when I did that, I picked them back up, and then I could jump again. Really weird. Doesn't make sense. But if that happens, keep it in mind as an option. One of the most obnoxious glitches I found within the game is that the microphones don't always work. If this happens before the game starts, everyone exit the game entirely and reboot it. That seems to fix the microphone problem, and it wasn't anything else in the system. We played 2 games without mics trying to do that. It was dreadful. Having microphones in this game is crucial. Playing with friends, also pretty crucial as well. That being said, guys, please let me know what you think about this video. Please drop a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, please, 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 if you enjoyed this video, as well as want to see other videos down the road. Share it with some friends that could really use these tips and help them improve and learn about this game and build a community. And I'll see you guys next time.